Hi, I'm Iyanla Vanzant, and I'm in the DC Spotlight.
Well, Miss Van Zant, I wanted to ask you.
That's my mother, Miss Vanzant.
Well, Iyanla. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, I just wanted to know today. I know all of the things we know, all of the things that you've gone through in the past few years. Where are you today?
Here, frantically running around, having a great time, being just alive and well.
I know I've heard Oprah ask this to John Kennedy Jr. one time. She said, God, we just want you to be happy. And I think probably everybody in the room at this point, knowing what you've gone through, we just want you to be happy. Are you happy right now?
I have joy. You know, happiness is a temporary condition based on external circumstances. I was happy 5 minutes ago. I'm not happy thinking about all the stuff I have to do in the next 2 hours. But do I have joy? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely have joy.
Let me ask you this. I want to do a little rundown on some of the things that you've gone through in the last few years, because these are precious experiences that you've experienced, although they've been hard. You lost your home. You lost.
That wasn't first. That was totally insignificant.
Okay, totally insignificant. Okay.
In my father's house, there are many mansions.
Yeah.
You know how many real estate agents want me to buy a house right now?
I know. I can imagine. I can only imagine.
A house is nothing, boo.
Yes.
My daughter.
Your daughter. You lost your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your marriage.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Man like a bus. Wait long enough, another one will come along.
Right along. You had a show, and that show unfortunately ended.
I wasn't unfortunate.
Okay. Well, that's a good way to look at it. So tell me, out of these experiences, what can you tell us that you learned that we can learn from these experiences?
I learned that you can never outlive the core level of your self-value and worth. And that at that core level of your value and worth, there are patterns and pathologies of thinking and believing that are going to attract to you exactly what you need to live through and learn through. That's what I learned. I learned that you can give yourself and life and the world all the lip service that you want, but when your back is against the wall, that's when you're going to find out who you are. And that every now and then, God will push our back to the wall just so that we can have a rude awakening, because we really think we're cute until life happens. And then life happens and you start wondering, well, what happened to my cuteness? Because my cuteness didn't help me when they told me my daughter had colon cancer. My degrees didn't help me, the money didn't help me, the cuteness didn't help me, none of it helped me. You understand?
Yes.
What helped me was my prayer life. What helped me was understanding that no matter what happened to her, to me, no matter what they said, that I was going to be okay. I remember this is Dr. Carol Musson, and she was the first one. And she said to me, we've got a hard way to go here, a long way to go. And I said to her, I just want somebody to tell me that my child is not going to die. And she said to me, with God, all things are possible. And I said, I'm going to hang on to that. That was the first day, September 11th, 2002. So, that's what I would tell you. And I would also say, for me, it was $1 million contract, it was a 40-year relationship, but for somebody else, it was a job at the post office and a loss of a savings account. It's all relative to where you are. It didn't hurt me more because I lost $1 million contract than it hurt the guy that lost his job at the postal plant. So we think we're separate and I'm better and you're better and you got more. No. And that's what I hope this experience teaches everybody. Life happens. It happens. And when it happens, God knows who you are, God knows where you are, and God knows what you know.
What was that day? Tell me the day that you realized after Jamia passed and all of this had happened, and that turning point where you said, I can start over. I can do this over. I have a chance now to do this all over again.
I wish I had been that spiritually profound. And I wasn't. I was whining like a fool. Because I'm human. I'm like, okay, give me a break here, all right? What's the deal? So I don't know. What I do know, I think that there was a day, probably about 4 months after Jamia died, and the pain was just unbearable. It's just mind-boggling. This is before the divorce, before the house, before any of that. I lost my brother in March of 2000. I lost my sister in June of 2002, and then 2001, and then Jamia was diagnosed in September of 2002. So even though I'm the baby, I'm the last one standing, you know. So I think that it was about 4 months after Jamia died, and it was just too painful. You know, it's the kind of pain that makes you drool. Yeah. You know, you just feel stupid. You know, like, just leave me alone. I don't want to live. And I didn't want to live. And so many years earlier, I had bought this lovely little pink pearl handled pistol. I told myself I was going to protect myself from what, I don't know, because I don't even know where the bullets are. You know, I think they was in the drawer somewhere. Anyway, I had the little pink pearl handled pistol, and because of Jamia's illness, she had lots of drugs. So I had all of her drugs. So I said, okay, I'm going to take these drugs. No, I'm going to shoot myself. Okay, no, I'm going to take these drugs. I said, okay, now if I take the drug, my grandson's going to come home from school and find me dead, and he'll be scarred for the rest of his life. And I said, and if I shoot myself, it's going to be all over the wall, and somebody's going to have to clean that up. And I'm just sitting there going through this conversation because I didn't want to die. Yeah. I wanted to stop hurting. The pain. And so I'm sitting there and said, okay, God, please, please, please help me, Jesus. Somebody, anybody out there. And what I heard clear as day was, stop being dramatic. Stop it. I said, oh yeah, I am kind of doing drama here. I know I'm not going to kill myself. But that day I realized, okay, you got to think about this differently. You have to think about this differently. Your daughter dying ain't about you. That's about her and God. Your husband leaving ain't about you. He changed his mind. Okay, so, you know, what is about you, Iyanla? What is about you? And what I know is about me is the gifts and the work and the blessings that God has given me to do, that I've done for the past 32 years, come hell or high water, rain or snow, all over the country, all over the world, everywhere. That's about me. Okay, get your butt up and go do something. So I went to Los Angeles and I did start it.
Exactly. When did you start writing the book?
About 3 years ago.
Really?
3 years after I came back from starting over 3 years ago.
And this book now is about what you've gone through. Mm-hmm. So where do you go now? I mean, that's then.
I don't need to know that, child. Please, I was just trying to find some lipstick in the bottom of my purse. Really, let's not make life so deep.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question that I know everybody wants to know. Do you want to show again? Do you want to show?
Not necessarily. This is what I want. I want to do my work because I'm good at what I do. I am good at what I do. Mm-hmm. I am a spiritual technician. Mm-hmm. And in 15 minutes with you, we can create the process, the technique, the plan to reconstruct your spirit, which will impact your relationships, your finances, your self-value, your self-worth. For women, I'm most concerned about self-value and self-worth. So what I want is to be able to do my work in a way that reaches the largest number of people with the least amount of effort. If that's television, fine. If that's radio, fine. If that's the internet, fine. If that's being here in this room with 40 of y'all, because right now I'm talking to 400 people, because women talk, and every one of us is going to tell 10 people. Okay? I know how that works. And so I want to reach the greatest number of people with the least amount of effort, because I'm getting older.
We all are.
You know?
We all are.
So I don't want to be flying around or I'm trying to find a boyfriend, but if I ain't home, what's the point?
Do you want to be married? Do you want
I said a boyfriend. She got me cooking and doing No, I just want a playmate. Can't we have play dates? I want to go on a play date. I mean, I'm open it. Would I get married if he was right and he asked me? Would I do television if it were right and they paid me?
Let me ask you this. Would you like to be on Oprah's network?
I'd like to be any place God sends me to go to do this work. And if it's OWN, I'll go to OWN. I'll go to ABC, CBS. Only place I don't want to go is the Animal Channel. Because I got eaten by that alligator. I don't think I want to be over there. There's enough animals out there loose in the park.
So you are enjoying yourself. You seem to be. You seem to be enjoying yourself.
What's not to enjoy? I am fine.
Yeah.
Did you notice?
Yes, yes.
I'm 58. I still got a waistline.
And you look good.
You know,
And you look
I don't
good.
have on any makeup, but that's okay. I have a little pop on the lip. Yeah.
But I mean, that's basically what I just want to get an idea of where you are today and
Where are you today? How's your life?
my life is good. My life is good. And you know what? It turned completely today when I met you.
Really?
Yes, it did.
That's a good thing. See, I tell you, I'm good at what I do.
Yes. So that's basically.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, when I was 29, I wasn't going to mention this, but I
do that too.
I know you do that to people. When I was 29, I was diagnosed with cancer too. And when I read the story about Jamia and what you went through, and you know, when you get that call and you're that young, it changes your life. It changes the people around you, you know. And to hear how you dealt with it, because I'm still here. So I feel like I'm like you. I'm dealing with it. Although Jamia is gone, you're still here dealing with it. Like I had to deal with it because I had surgery and it was removed. But your strength, and when I saw you on Oprah, it was unbelievable. Your strength. You know, the way you went through it and the way you came out proud. You came out stronger. You came out telling a story to us, to help us to get through that next moment that we have to deal with that's similar to that. And, you know, I thank you. You are a treasure. I remember, I keep saying Oprah. Oprah said to John F. Kennedy Jr., and you know his history, you know, of his family and everything like that. And she said, we want you to be happy. Because, of course, they're a national treasure, the Kennedys are. But for us, for women, you're a national treasure. And I thank you, and I'm honored and privileged to be here with you.
Thank you. You know, I learned, one of the things I learned about Jamia's death, because I'm a mom, I'm a mommy, you know, I mean, I had a meltdown about 3 days ago, and it's 7 years later. You know, I can only speak for myself. I don't, it gets better, it never goes away, and she was my friend, she was my buddy. You know, she wasn't just a kid to me. She was my vice president of my company, an integral part of my ministry, my travel buddy. She dressed me. She taught me how to dress myself, because you saw what I had on Oprah, right? You saw the hat. That's a $125 hat. That is a Kango. The coat is a handmade English leather. It's fabulous. Who knew? I mean, I needed Jamia to dress me. But what I learned about her death and what I learned about her life, her transition, I won't say death because my child is not dead. She's just in another form. But what I learned about life is that, you know, we all come here with a purpose. We all come here with a reason. And as much as I may have mastered my skill and my craft, she mastered life. She really did. And she was a master. And she had a high spiritual calling. And one of the callings that she had was to end rage and suffering in my matriarchal line. You know, my mother had breast cancer. So any medical doctor in the world would tell you that I'm at risk for breast cancer. You know, and they want to check me and poke me and gouge my eyes out and everything. But when I found out, I didn't know that my mother had breast cancer until I was 30 years old, because she died when I was 3 and everybody forgot to tell me. They told me that woman was my mother. You know, this other woman was my mother. So I didn't know my mother had breast cancer. You know, had I known and grown up all my life with the prediction, oh, you're at risk, you're at risk, you're at risk, I probably would really be at risk. But I didn't grow up with that. I didn't know till I was 30.